Good morning, everyone. All right, is anybody hungover? Okay, good. I've got some stuff that's going to be on the screen. It's going to be small, so if you want to readjust and come up a little closer, I highly recommend it. Don't be shy. You can do that. But there's going to be some numbers that I want you to see. And the used car marketing blueprint, it really started about a year and a half ago, because what I realized was marketing strategies were all over the board. We would go to a conference, we'd hear a buzzword, and we're like, I need that. And it's like, why do you need it? What is it exactly? And it's like, don't know, but it sounded good. I need that. So the used car marketing blueprint is a step-by-step process that we've created at the ad agency to really know where you're going every day. And I had a guy years ago that told me, he said, Paul, you have to make your plan, work your plan. And that's what this is. It really is a plan, but it's a plan by utilizing things that you probably didn't even think about. And a lot of this, I'm going to talk about Facebook. I'm going to talk about ringless voicemail drops. I'm going to talk about email marketing. And I know email marketing sounds old school, but there's some really good benefits when you use email marketing in a way that I'm going to talk about. But I've only got 30 minutes, so I can't waste time, so I'm going to really get into it.
We've never sold 300 cars. We've never sold 500 total. It's a lot of hard work from the used car department. Give yourself a hand.
He's able to coach us and lead us in the right direction of where we need to be.
You have the reputation, you have the sales staff, you have the website, you have all of the resources to be the largest used car dealer in the state.
He's always willing to try new things and look at new trends in the market and how we can kind of push the envelope.
If you're a used car franchise, then I'm going to show you how to be more competitive.
So a couple reasons I wanted you to see the video. The guy in the beginning where he talked about 300 used cars, 500 in total, this was a dealership that they were happy to get 80 used cars a month. And every month their strategy was changing. They were trying new things. This month let's do a direct mail drop. This month let's do some more ads in the newspaper. This month let's pull out. This month let's go 100% dark on traditional media and let's put all of our money into search or put all of our money into display. So they couldn't really create any consistency. And I'm sure I'm speaking to you guys where you're going, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're constantly hopping around trying to find out what we need to be doing. And then the next gentleman, Zach, where he was talking about, he said, they've really pushed boundaries. They've really tried new things, and I'm going to show you some of the new things. But you've got to experiment, but you can't forget what you're doing, if that makes sense. In other words, you've got to challenge yourself. I'm going to try something new, but don't throw everything out that you've been doing in the past. And again, I mentioned buzzwords. The buzzwords, we get so excited about something new, and then we start doing that. We never create any consistency. So why is this not clicking? All right, here we go. Here's another one, Leduc Hyundai. So Leduc Hyundai, they're in Canada, and they just couldn't afford search anymore. The cost of search advertising, like Google pay-per-click is what I'm talking about, was just getting more and more expensive, but they weren't seeing the result. In other words, they were spending more, but they were getting less. So think about that for a minute. Are you spending more on search advertising, but you're not getting the same number of leads, you're not getting the same number of phone calls, and then at the end of the month you're saying, did we really spend that money wisely? Is it really working for us? Is anybody feeling like that now with paid search advertising? Yeah? So we feel that way, but we keep on doing it because we read in the trade magazines, we go to the conferences, and everyone's talking about how they're doing search. Well, Leduc Hyundai, we completely pulled them out of search, zero search budget, cut their budget back, and went 100% Facebook. And then here's the results. So Facebook came in, they did a case study and found out that we more than doubled the traffic to their website. They got more website visitors, but the biggest thing, what's really important at the end of the day, they sold more. So let me give you an example here. Can everybody see this? This was one of the slides that I wanted you to see. So I pulled a screen grab of what have we been spending in Facebook, and I think you're going to find this a little shocking. But when we build a strategy out, when we start something new, we try it with our own ad dollars. So you can see at the top where I've tried the different Facebook campaigns, and moving towards the bottom, dealer clients, $2 million that we've been spending. And this year, coming up, 2018, I can see that continue to increase. Because our clients, frankly, are saying, why are we doing so much on search? And this isn't to beat up on search. This is really saying, wow, this is where the eyeballs are at. So here's a question. When was the last time that you went to Google and did a search? And when was the last time you just opened up Facebook and you were on Facebook and you were looking around? When was the last time you checked a voicemail on your phone? So go where the eyeballs are at, because with search advertising, we're sitting back and we're waiting for someone to have that need, that desire. Versus Facebook, you're able to be part of their lives. And write this down, what I'm getting ready to tell you. Your competition is not competing dealers. Let me say that again. Your competition is not the competing dealers. And so many times we go to another dealer's website, we're looking at their website, we're trying to figure out what are they doing, how do we sell more, how are they pricing their cars, what kind of inventory are they buying, and we're using things like vAuto, which is a great tool and you need to continue to use it, but we're focused so much on the competition that we're not focused on how do I get someone's attention, because your competition, if you're trying to market to me, is my friends, is my mom, is family, because they're the ones that's constantly in my feed. You've got to be that way to, how do you get into their feed? How do you get into their feed and not be in their feed that you're always trying to sell a car, shove a car down their throat? Because we just tune that out. You've got to become part of them. You've got to start, and we are them. I mean, you think about it. So you've got to start talking about your interests and your hobbies and bring them in. So when you do have that sale, they definitely want to come in and do business with you. So think about that. What's holding you back from selling more used cars? Well, I think we just outlined that. Lack of consistency and not being where shoppers are really at. And the shoppers, when I say shoppers, they might be a year out, they might be 6 months out, they might be 6 hours out. And we're sitting back and we're waiting for them to be reactive instead of us being proactive. So as you go through the conference, everyone's hearing used car inventory is going to skyrocket. 2018 is going to be one of the biggest cars, and 2019, our biggest used car in history, because we've got so much inventory coming in. And so with inventory, supply and demand, prices are going to drop. So the new cars won't be able to compete because we won't be able to price the new cars as effectively as we are the used cars, because supply and demand. So think about what that's going to do for your fixed ops. So if you have your strategy right, if you're doing the things right that I'm getting ready to share with you, you're going to be able to sell a lot more and you're going to be able to service a lot more. So you kind of think about, all right, well, hey, we work with an ad agency, we're doing these things, we're in a manufacturer program. Well, this is what's happening. Vendors are so slow to adapt technology, and I'm going to share a strategy with you in just a minute that I'm sure you've probably heard about some of these things, but the question is, have you done any of these things? And this is a very low-cost strategy, and it's very simple for you to do. But think about that. All the ad agencies out there, they're slow to adapt, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to build these programs that are really, and I don't mean this negative, but like a cookie cutter program. And the manufacturers are killing the innovation. Manufacturers bringing things in like Shift Digital, where Shift Digital is going out and negotiating with the vendors their lowest cost, that the vendors are not making any money on these programs. Do you think they're really innovating? No. They're trying to keep their head above water. And then the lack of understanding the technology. We have so many things that are coming at us, we just start to tune it out, and we just really pay attention to those buzzwords, those things that kind of pop up and keep on popping up that someone put a testimonial on. So here's the four-step strategy I'm going to take you through. And this four-step strategy is one of the strategies that you'll see in the used car marketing blueprint that Samantha can show you at our booth, because there's 47 different strategies in this process of the used car marketing blueprint. So let's get into it. Step one, email awareness. So we all have an email database, but how are we using it? And are we doing emails that the email goes out and it's a lot of graphics? So write this down, get rid of the graphics. Stop using graphics in your email. Because when you use the graphics in your email, it's hitting the spam wall. It's not even getting to the individuals it needs to get to. I mean, there's a time and a place for graphics, but just get rid of it. Also, get rid of the text, that you're putting in there that has to do with sales event, inventory reduction, any of that desperation language. Get rid of it in the email, because it's not making it through the spam wall. It's just not. Instead, start talking to people. The same way, if you were to pick up the phone and call someone that's done business with you in the past, what would be really the words that you would use? I mean, granted, if you're a hardcore salesperson, then you're like, hey, we got a sale going on and it's ending on Sunday. That's not what you want to do. You want to understand where they're at. You want to talk to them in that email the same way that you would talk to them if you were at your son or daughter's, Little League game. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody. So bring the language down and talk to them the way they want to be talked to, the way you would want to be talked to. So where do you want to get this? Get it out of your CRM, get it out of your equity tool, because we're going to get very specific in the email marketing. Again, this is step 1 in your email marketing. So let's look at some different lists that you can pull. So if you're using Auto Alert or Dealer Socket has some different tools that you can start to pull these elements out. So first list you can do is showroom visits where they didn't buy. Or you could do model conquest to a newer model, or vehicles not serviced in the last 12 months, or they purchased a vehicle without a warranty, or their lease is about to expire, or a conquest of a competing brand. Think about that. How can you do a conquest of a competing brand? Well, you're selling used cars. Think about it. If you're a new car manufacturer and you're selling used cars and you sell Toyota, then start to pull people that's bought the used Hondas in the past. And then what about exceeding miles? So they're coming in for service, they're getting the vehicle serviced. You can start to pull those individuals out that are putting a lot of miles on the car. And now think about that, exceeding miles. What could I do? Well, if it's, because we have some guys that are doing used car warranties, but what about service? Could you be, hey, it looks like you're doing a lot of miles. Maybe it's time for a tire replacement. We have a tire special going on. So there's a lot of different ways that you can talk to them other than buy a car. So you really got to become that Inspector Gadget with your data. So you want to create a hook. So here's some possible hook suggestions. Newer model. I mean, this is all self-explanatory. We've all seen this. And here's a good place to get some ideas. Is the direct mail pieces that you get in the mail. Take the direct mail piece, but take all of the hard sales message out of it and rewrite it where it's a little more subtle, where you're really talking to the individual. You can talk about, receive a better interest rate, how they can lower their payment, newer warranty. I mean, this is all simple stuff. But the problem is we wait until the 12th hour, and then we say, throw an email together. We throw the email together and we send it through our CRM, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because you think about it, you're in that CRM and you're on a server with your CRM, but how many other dealers are on that same server with their CRM, and how many of them are abusing the emails? In other words, they're spamming. So is that server blacklisted? Are those emails even making it through? So just think about that for a minute. Is that server blacklisted? And if you don't know the answer, then you probably want to go to a Constant Contact or a Vertical Response or a MailChimp, someone that's going to make it a little harder for you to send emails. But if they're making it a little harder to send emails, they're protecting the integrity of that server, meaning that the chances of your email getting in one's inbox will happen. And I know this sounds really old school here. I know it does. But now we've pulled this list out, and we have the list, and whatever we want to go after, let's say that we just pick one, that we say upgrade to a larger vehicle. Gas prices are low, so let's get people out of the small pickup and let's get them into the larger pickup. So just pick that one list right there. That's what you have. You're going to put your email together. I talked about email providers, so I already did that. Let's move on. So getting creative. Let's determine the message. Start with your subject line. That's what you really want to do. Start with the subject line and then put your email together. If it's worth doing right. And it's worth testing it too. But email testing, that's easy enough for you to find out, because I want to get into the good stuff here. But when you're doing this email, you want to make sure that you have one singular call to action. One call to action. So many times it's like, come into the dealership, call us, go look at our inventory, do this, do that, get pre-approved for credit. It's one call to action in your email, and only one call to action. Because otherwise the person reading through the email is like, what do they want me to do? I don't understand. So one call to action. I think I've harped on that long enough. And then make sure that call to action, that you do have a link where they're going. And be cautious about this email list that you're putting together. Name it properly. Don't spray it and pray it. In other words, throw it together. Okay, I'm sending an email. But name it. And guys, you can get a copy of this deck so you know. So I don't need to go through and talk about that, but just name it properly, because you're going to use that naming convention in just a minute. So step 2, Facebook campaign. Anybody doing custom audiences through Facebook? So a couple people. So what happens now that I have this email database that I pulled out of my CRM or pulled out of my wherever, your auto alert, your equity tool, whatever it is, and then I've created the email with this singular call to action. Let's say it's upgrade to a larger vehicle was the call to action. Take that list and I'm going to show you where it's at, where you can find this in a second. But you want to create a Facebook custom audience. So meaning everyone that receives that email, when they go to check their best friend's profile and see what's going on, they will see the same message. So you're in their inbox and now you're on their Facebook profile. So you're in those two different places. So to kind of show you what I'm talking about in a second here, but you have the audience, you have the customer file. Make sure that naming convention, because you're going to have to go back and test this, the naming convention, upgrade to a larger truck or whatever it is all correct. And then you can go in here, you create your audience. Do you see where it says custom audience? Everybody sees that. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to do a custom audience, and this is going to allow them to see your advertisement. So you're talking to the people you're sending the email to. Moving to the next one. I think this is pretty interesting. Did you know you can also, side note, by the way, squirrel. This is a squirrel moment. For those of you who see me speak, I talk about squirrel moments. But you see on the very last two down here, offline activity. Create a list of people who interacted with your business in-store, by phone, or through other offline channels. Is that a little creepy? Did Facebook knows that? What about engagement? Create a list of people who engaged with your content on Facebook or Instagram. So this is another squirrel moment. So the message that I want you to understand, the message I'm trying to deliver to you on the engagement of updated, where you have a Facebook page, and you're like, yeah, I don't really do much with the Facebook page, or no, I don't really want to spend time with the Facebook page. Really? Seriously? Why not? Because if you're developing content and you're putting it on Facebook and you're putting it on Instagram, you're able to talk to those same people over and over. And I wish we had more time for me to go through what would be a proper Facebook strategy. I have that in the used car blueprint. But it's not always trying to sell a car, sell a car, sell a car. It's being genuine. It's being authentic. It's being real is what it is. But so many times I want to tell them, hey, we got a sale going on. And there's a time and a place. You can definitely do that. But you've got to engage them on a more personal level. They meaning the shoppers. So here's where it gets really cool. Now we've created the audience. So this is for a client that is really big into the Jeep business. Not only does he sell Jeeps, but he does lift kits and a number of things. So we created the audience. We went after people that have interest in off-roading, four-wheel drive, off-road adventures, Jeeps, anything having to do with Jeeps. And you see the number. We've been able to target 10 million people with that. And yes, this dealer can sell across the country. So it's a huge audience, and you can see where the interest, off-road vehicle, off-roading, four-wheel drive, and all that. But 10 million people, and this is where it gets really cool. Oh, where did it go? Let me go back. I might have skipped ahead. So on this, the lookalike audience, I think it's a little further up. So lookalike audience, let me go in a little further, because I know I got it in here. Yeah, there we go. So create the lookalike audience. So Facebook has the power and the algorithm to be able to take your database, those individuals that we said we wanted to target, people that wanted a larger vehicle, they can go in and they can find individuals within your market, and you can see the sliding scale from 0 to 10. And what it says is this audience size ranges from 1% to 10% of the total population in the countries you choose, with 1% being those who closely match your source. So you think about it, that CRM that you have with all of those email addresses and mobile numbers, that's huge because you have a source of these individuals. You're able to use a lookalike audience in Facebook and go out and find more of those individuals. Let me put that in really simple layman's terms. You're able to go out and find the other dealer's audience on Facebook. And I would tell you, most of the other dealers are not doing this type of strategy because it's understanding how to do it. But this is a very, very simple process. And we take you step 1, step 2, step 3. But let me say that one more time, though. With a lookalike audience, you're able to find other individuals that already match people in your database. It's as simple as that. So why not? So if you're sending your, targeting people through your email database, and let's say that database is very small, that it's only like 1,500 people that would be more likely to upgrade their vehicle to a larger vehicle, now you're able to take that number to 3,000. But what about if you want to grow your service department and? So think about how big your database could grow with a lookalike audience. All right, step 3, ringless voicemail drop. We absolutely love this. So the guy in the beginning of the video, he cannot get enough of the ringless voicemail drops. Has anyone done a ringless voicemail drop in here yet? So anybody want to do a ringless voicemail drop? We've all been exposed, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have been exposed to it. So a ringless voicemail drop, what it is, just really explain it. On our mobile phone, when we get a voicemail, that's really an audio file through email. So a ringless voicemail drop, we came up with this about 3 years ago. We're able to record an audio message, and then we're able to send it to one's mobile phone, but it does not ring their phone. It does not use any data. All they get is like, ding, you have a voicemail. And they're like, how'd that get here? They listen to the voicemail, and then it's the message. But there's a really an art to doing a ringless voicemail, because if you call them up and you say, hey, I was calling you about the sales event that we got going on, they're going to call you back and they're going to be angry. Let's just be honest, they are. But if you call them, or if you record that message in a very subtle way, hi, this is Paul over at blank. I was just following up. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to you in a while. Just wanted to let you know that we have blank going on, or that I was going through our database and I realized that you bought a whatever, a small or a mid-sized truck, and we've got a huge inventory of large trucks in now. So it's a personalized message. And when you do that, the person will call you back because they feel like, wow, you've taken time to go through your database and call me about that. It will work. The guy in the beginning of the video, the first month he did it, he sold 80 vehicles, or actually it was 82. So ringless voicemail drop. So you see what's happening? Do you see how we're putting it together? We grab the email database. We've got very specific on our email database. We send our email together, put it together. We send our email out. We take that same messaging, that same database. We put the same messaging on Facebook. So now when they look at their phone, they're seeing the same message. And then what happens is they get a ringless voicemail drop, which happens generally 24 hours later, reminding them, hey, I sent you an email, just wanted to follow up, make sure you got that email, didn't get to your spam. And they're like, oh, that email? They go back, they check their email, or they just call you, and when they call you, you've got the word truck, hey, I sent you an email, just wanted to make sure you got it. So it's really a process. It's an automated process of creating a big sales event. And I'm going to take you through the steps. So here it is, 24 hours later, when you begin your ringless voicemail drop, make sure that you're communicating the message to your receptionist, that the receptionist needs to answer the phone in the proper way, give the sales team copy of the email, and role play with them. So many times our sales team messes that up because they didn't even know what was coming at them, that an ad agency fired it out, and they're like, I don't know. So anyway, give the sales team the script on the return phone calls coming from the RVD, the ringless voicemail drop, and role play, because it is a little difficult to do that because there's going to be a number of people that are just going to call you back and go, hey, you left me a voicemail, and they don't even listen to the voicemail, so you need to be ready for that. And then you want to make sure that you don't go crazy, because we're all, sales guys, and we want to, we got a database of 5,000. If you drop it to 5,000, your sales team is not going to be able to handle it. They're going to fumble it. They're going to mess it up. So instead, send it to 150 and see what happens. And then add another 300 and then another 500. So that's how you want to do it. All right, so the big thing, we know this, you've all heard this. So book appointments. Don't sell cars on the phone. Let that prospective customer lead the conversation. If they answer their questions and everything, but so many times the salesperson wants to try to sell the car over the phone. Don't do it. Just get them in for an appointment. All right, step 4, 72 hours later, this is what I want you to do, is do the ringless voicemail drop, do another one to the unopened email. So send it again and just say, hey, I was just following up. I sent you an email. Just wanted to make sure you got it. Make sure it didn't go into the spam. Call me if you didn't get the email. I wanted to talk to you about your vehicle. Real simple. That's just a casual conversation. And then send another email. When you send that other email, make sure that you have RE in front of the existing subject line. Don't change the subject line. Just keep it the same. Send it out. Real simple. So with that, we're almost out of time. Can you see consistency here? Can you see a process that you follow through? I mean, this isn't so glamorous. This isn't so much Hollywood. This is just a simple process to sell cars. That's all it is. But it's being very calculated about what we're doing, very calculated in our messaging, very calculated not only in the email, but in our Facebook ads, in our ringless voicemail drop. A simple, low-cost process is what this is. All right, so any questions on that? Because I kind of rolled through. I had to do that in 30 minutes. Any questions on that? Boy, you guys are quiet this morning. Did I confuse anyone? I know you're not going to admit it. If I confused you, then come see me at the booth on that. But I'm telling you, this is a great tool and a great strategy. So if you've probably been hearing the word marketing funnels, that we talk about funnels, don't get that confused with a sales funnel. But a funnel, what I mean by that is you put a piece of content. You can put a piece of content on Facebook. For example, it could be 7 ways to increase the value of your trade-in. So we've put together a PDF guide. We run an ad on Facebook. This PDF guide's about 5 to 7 pages long. We run the ad on Facebook. Someone clicks on that. I want that 7 ways to increase the value to my vehicle. It's not marked with the dealer's name. They click it. We take them over to a landing page. They fill in the information to get this PDF file, this little booklet. Now we have the email. Generally, what people would want to do is want to snap up the phone, call them, and try to sell them a car. It's not time. You have to nurture that relationship. And what you're doing is you're building your database. You're able to start putting Facebook messages in front of them. You're able to start doing ringless voicemail drops where you're doing consultation selling versus, hey, we got a sales event that's going to end on Sunday. All right, so the used car marketing blueprint, you can see this in the booth. We spent quite a while putting this together, but it's hours and hours of videos, but each video is around 4 to 6 minutes long is what this is. So we start with a used car shopper's mindset. What exactly are they thinking? What do you need to be talking about? And we move on all the way down, like common lead form mistakes. Boy, I see some really bad lead forms on websites that we ask for all this information. We want to know everything about them, and people don't fill it out. Or we have what we call a straggler, and the lead form's hanging on the right-hand side. So the used car marketing blueprint, we take you through the process of how to fix your website, how to put all these things together. Here's another one, just to kind of break it down. 1 through 20 of that. And this is a process, what it is it's really a blueprint that you give to your website provider and say, these are the things I need you to fix. Here's the guide, put it together. Anybody who's doing your email marketing, here's the guide. And oh, by the way, here's some templates of the email so you don't have to guess with subject lines and everything. And then here's more of it. Email marketing facts overview, what to say it, how to get through the spam firewall. I mean, that's a big one for all of us. And then paid search. We even go through paid search. What are the campaigns you need to be running? We even talk about SEO. And then my favorite one, though, the one that's really working is database mining. So I'm almost out of time. So I've got a video for you guys to see, just in case you didn't see it in the beginning, because I think you can see the enthusiasm that Hunter has about what they've done. And we'll get into that. So. All right, so real quick. Oh, I thought the video was here. I messed it up. Boy, I need to rehearse this next time. So here we go. The used car marketing blueprint. It's a step-by-step guide for your marketing partners. You get a 1-hour follow-up call with a senior performance manager. In other words, we go through the things with you, make sure you're getting them out. You have a dedicated accountability partner. So we have an individual that's making sure that your team, whether it's your ad agency or your managers or whatever, is going through the videos and checking it off that they understand what it is. You get unlimited text and email support. And then things are changing so quick. Like number 47 was a brand new strategy. So when we update like when Facebook changes algorithms or changes, then you get an email that there's an update on that. Then, oh, that's the wrong price, so you need to go to see it at the booth. It's a lot cheaper than that. That's what it was when we were in Canada. And then, of course, Canadian dollar. But anyway, a whole nother side topic on that. All right, so let me pop over.
We've never sold 300 cars. We've never sold 500 total. It's a lot of hard work from the used car department. Give yourself a hand.
He's able to coach us and lead us in the right direction of where we need to be.
You have the reputation, you have the sales staff, you have the website, you have all of the resources to be the largest used car dealer in the state.
He's always willing to try new things and look at new trends in the market and how we can kind of push the envelope.
If you're a used car franchise, then I'm going to show you how to be more competitive.
There it was. I had 5 seconds left. Thank you, guys, and we'll be in the hall. But if you got any questions, you want to talk about used car marketing, come see me. Have a good day.